The internet just exploded, and at the center of it all, a woman most people only know as Charlie Kirk's wife.
It's a coincidence that this happens to be the university that Jeffrey Epstein was pouring all of his money into, by the way, and he's facilitating models from Romania beginning in 2009. Do you think all of this is just one big coincidence and we are the conspiracy theorists?
That question just became a lot harder to dismiss, because when you hear what Erika Kirk said in her own audition tapes that were never supposed to resurface, suddenly everything about her carefully constructed image starts cracking wide open.
You say you got to be on a plane in a half hour and you have to pack your stuff and go, I'm on it. I'm kind of like a gypsy. I don't mind living out of a suitcase. I'm used to it, and that's something that I'm okay with.
Ready to travel anywhere in 30 minutes? Living out of suitcases, no questions asked? And now, with whispers of alleged Epstein drive tapes circulating online, Candace Owens firing back at critics, and a so-called Miss USA pipeline theory spreading like wildfire, the question everyone's asking is simple. What exactly was Erika Kirk doing during those missing years? And why does her past keep intersecting with the darkest scandal of the century? Let's get into it. Over the past few weeks, something has been brewing online, and it's the kind of storm that doesn't just blow over. It started with whispers, vague posts, screenshots being passed around private groups. People were talking about something they called the Epstein drive tapes. Now, let me be clear. No verified documents confirming the existence of these specific tapes have been publicly released, but the rumor of them, that alone was enough to send shockwaves through the internet. Because whenever Jeffrey Epstein's name resurfaces, people pay attention. And this time, the conversation didn't stay focused on Epstein himself. It spiraled outward, fast. Within days, online investigators started pulling apart timelines. They started cross-referencing old social media posts. They started digging through archived audition tapes, charity announcements, and pageant records. And one name kept appearing over and over again: Erika Kirk, the wife of the late Charlie Kirk, the woman who stood beside one of the most prominent conservative voices in America, the woman who for years maintained a polished public image as a supportive spouse and Christian mother. But what people are discovering now tells a very different story. Because before Erika became Mrs. Kirk, before the political circles, before the photo ops, before the carefully curated Instagram feed, she was someone else entirely. And that someone was chasing fame harder than almost anyone you've ever seen. Let's rewind, because this didn't start yesterday. Long before Erika became a conservative figurehead's wife, she was making moves, strategic moves, calculated moves. And the pattern is undeniable. Every single man Erika dated during her rise had one thing in common: they were already famous or on their way there. She wasn't dating nobodies, she was networking. One of her earliest serious relationships was a guy named J.T. Massey, a minor league baseball player with connections and visibility in certain circles. And what were they doing together? Auditioning for reality television, specifically The Amazing Race.
We know each other pretty well, but I'm sure the strain and the different challenges that Amazing Race would bring out, you don't really know what to be prepared for, so that the fear of the unknown would be kind of a conflict.
That's Erika and JT pitching themselves as a couple who could handle anything. And look, on the surface, it seems harmless. Two young people trying to get on TV. But watch the rest of that tape. Watch the energy. Watch how she presents herself.
Really handsome.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing my... I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
This is not the reserved, faith-driven woman people see on camera today. This is someone playing a completely different game. And here's what's wild. Some of those old Instagram posts from that era suggest Erika and JT weren't just casually dating. There are captions and photos that make it look like they might have even been engaged at one point. But JT wasn't the last stop on Erika's fame train. Not even close. Because right around that same period, another audition tape surfaced. This one was for a show called House of DVF, a reality competition connected to legendary fashion designer Diane von Furstenberg. The show ran for 2 seasons between 2014 and 2015, and Erika wanted in.
At a great point, just career-wise, to be able to take on this type of endeavor. And I feel like I have something very unique to offer this whole experience in general. Like I said, I'm very coachable, I'm very trainable.
Coachable, trainable. Now, those words might sound innocent, but when you understand the world she was trying to enter and who ran that world, those words take on a very different weight. Because here's the thing about Diane von Furstenberg. She's not just a fashion icon. She's deeply embedded in elite social circles, circles that overlap with powerful political figures, billionaire investors, and yes, names that appear in Jeffrey Epstein's infamous Little Black Book. Specifically, Diane von Furstenberg's son, Alexander von Furstenberg, is listed in that book. And if that wasn't enough, photographs from the mid-2000s show Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's right hand, attending DVF fashion shows during the exact years Epstein's network was operating at full capacity. So when Erika sits in that audition chair and says this,
if you say you got to be on a plane in a half hour and you have to pack your stuff and go, I'm on it. I'm kind of like a gypsy. I don't mind. I don't mind living out of a suitcase. I'm used to it, and that's something that I'm okay with.
You have to ask yourself, what kind of lifestyle was she describing? Ready to leave in 30 minutes, living out of suitcases, comfortable with constant travel at a moment's notice? That doesn't sound like a small-town girl dreaming of fashion school. That sounds like someone who was already embedded in a lifestyle that required that kind of flexibility. And she admits openly in that same audition,
Don't know how to sew and cut. I mean, I can sew a pillow together, but I can't take fabrics and create this couture dress. That's not me.
she had no fashion training, no formal design skills. So what exactly was she offering? Herself, her look, her willingness to be trainable. And in the world of elite fashion, modeling, and pageantry, that phrase carries a very specific meaning. Which brings us to the pageants, because around the same period, Erika entered the Miss USA system, and in 2012, she won.
Come on down, Phoenix, Erika Franzbay. Scottsdale, Caitlin Willenship. That means you're new Miss Arizona USA 2012.
Miss Arizona USA, a title that placed her directly inside the pageant organization that was, at the time, owned by Donald Trump. Now, pageants might seem glamorous from the outside, but people who've studied Epstein's network have pointed out something uncomfortable for years. Pageants and modeling agencies were often used as recruiting grounds. They're networking machines. Contestants meet modeling agencies, casting directors, wealthy sponsors, and media executives. They're evaluated, they're categorized, and the ones who stand out, they get pulled into higher circles. After her win, Erika reportedly started working as a casting director herself, helping evaluate and select other young women for opportunities. Think about that. She went from being selected to doing the selecting. And that's when the online conversation around the so-called Miss USA pipeline theory started gaining serious traction. Because people weren't just asking about Erika anymore, they were asking about the entire system. Who else came through that pipeline? Where did those girls end up? And who was waiting at the other end? But the story doesn't stop at pageants, because shortly after those pageant years, Erika and her mother Lori launched something that raised even more eyebrows. A charity called Romanian Angels. On the surface, it was humanitarian work, helping children and orphans in Romania, and Erika spoke publicly about the effort.
And he was over there, we did the same thing. Like, he showed us, these are the orphanages we work with, this is the hospital that we helped rebuild. Like, amazing humanitarian things that no one talks about that our troops are doing over there.
She's talking about working alongside military personnel, visiting orphanages, touring hospitals, and here's where things take a turn. Erika publicly thanked a man named Colonel Otto Buescher for helping with the project. And yes, this is the same Colonel Otto Buescher who would later be accused of running a trafficking operation involving children overseas. Let me say that again. The man Erika personally thanked for helping her charity work in Romania was later accused of horrific crimes against minors. And if that wasn't enough to make your stomach turn, here's what came next. Newly unsealed documents from lawsuits connected to Epstein revealed financial records showing a $30,000 payment sent to a Romanian bank account through a foundation tied to Epstein himself.
It's a coincidence that this happens to be the university that Jeffrey Epstein was pouring all of his money into, by the way, and he's facilitating models from Romania beginning in 2009. Do you think all of this is just one big coincidence and we are the conspiracy theorists?
Romania, the same country where Erika was running her charity, the same area where Epstein's money was flowing, the same area where investigators say he specifically targeted victims. Anyone else notice this when going through the files? It really bugs me. He seems to have specifically targeted Eastern European women. It was obviously ethnically motivated. Eastern European governments need to take a more proactive stance towards this. We were the main victims. And Erika was there, on the ground, working with orphanages, thanking military officials who would later face trafficking accusations. Coincidence? And now, here we are. Because when rumors about the alleged Epstein drive tapes started circulating online, everything people had been quietly researching about Erika Kirk suddenly became front-page conversation. The speculation is that these tapes, if they exist, could contain information connecting elite figures to Epstein's network in ways we haven't seen before. And whether or not those tapes are ever verified, the discussion around them has already done something irreversible. It ripped open Erika Kirk's past. People started sharing the audition tapes. They started pulling up the Romania charity connections. They started mapping her movements through the pageant world, the fashion industry, and the international travel she casually bragged about in interviews. And suddenly, a woman who had successfully rebranded herself as a conservative Christian wife was facing questions she clearly never prepared to answer. Reports online suggest Erika has gone quiet. Some sources claim she's been visibly distressed as the pressure mounts. Whether that's true or exaggerated, one thing is clear. She hasn't addressed any of this publicly. And that silence, it's deafening. Meanwhile, someone has been speaking up. Candace Owens. Now, Candace has never been afraid to touch controversial topics, and when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, she's been one of the loudest voices demanding full transparency. So when the latest wave of speculation started targeting figures connected to conservative circles, Candace didn't stay quiet. She pushed back, hard. According to Candace, what's happening online is a perfect example of selective narratives. She argued that certain stories get amplified while others get buried, depending on who benefits. Her supporters say she's highlighting the hypocrisy in how media and online mobs operate. They say she's asking the real questions about why some names get dragged through the mud while others, names far more directly connected to Epstein, remain protected. Her critics? They say she's deflecting. They say she's protecting her political allies instead of demanding accountability across the board. But here's what's interesting. Candace hasn't defended Erika Kirk specifically. She hasn't said the questions being raised are unfair. What she has done is point out that the conversation keeps getting steered in very specific directions, while other bigger fish swim away untouched. And honestly, she might have a point, because while the internet obsesses over Erika's audition tapes and charity work, there are names in Epstein's actual flight logs, names in his black book that have faced almost zero public scrutiny. So, is Erika Kirk guilty of something, or is she just an easy target because of who she married? That's the question nobody seems to agree on. Here's what we know for certain. Erika spent years pursuing fame in industries that directly overlapped with Epstein's known social circles. She auditioned for a fashion show connected to a family whose name appears in Epstein's Black Book. She won a pageant owned by Donald Trump during the exact years Epstein was still operating. She launched a charity in Romania, a country specifically flagged in Epstein-related financial documents, and personally thanked a military official later accused of child trafficking. And since Charlie Kirk's death, despite claiming she wants to continue his legacy, she has never once publicly addressed the Epstein files, even though Charlie himself pushed for their full release before he passed. That's not speculation. That's documented. Now, does any of this prove Erika Kirk was involved in something criminal? No. But does it raise questions that deserve answers? Absolutely. And the more people dig through old interviews, travel posts, and archived clips from her fame-chasing years, the more uncomfortable details keep surfacing. The Epstein case has always been different. It's not like other scandals that burn hot and fade. This one keeps coming back. Every few months, new documents drop, new names surface, new connections get exposed. And the reason is simple. People know the full truth has never been told. Epstein didn't operate alone. He had a network, a system that fed him access to victims, protected him from consequences, and connected him to the most powerful people on the planet. And every time a new thread gets pulled, whether it's about pageants, modeling agencies, charities in Eastern Europe, or alleged drive tapes, the same question echoes across the internet. Who else was involved? Erika Kirk might be completely innocent. She might have simply been a young woman chasing fame who happened to cross paths with dark circles she never fully understood. Or she might know more than she's ever admitted. Either way, until she addresses these questions directly, the speculation isn't going anywhere. And here's the final piece that's keeping this story alive. People are still digging. Right now, independent researchers are combing through archived social media posts from 2014, the year Erika claims she'd be traveling to Romania, Laos, Kazakhstan, the Philippines, and Sweden. They're cross-referencing flight patterns, charity records, and financial disclosures connected to foundations that operated in those regions. They're mapping the relationships between pageant organizations, modeling agencies, and the elite networks that surrounded Epstein for decades. And they're waiting, patiently, for the next round of unsealed documents to drop. Because if even one piece of verifiable evidence connects Erika Kirk to something bigger than audition tapes and charity photos, this entire story shifts overnight. The only question is, what happens when it does?
All of this is just one big coincidence, and we are the conspiracy theorists.
That's the question. And right now, nobody has a good answer. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.